This is 7:30 Tea with Rie.
So I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally stranded in a flooding canal.
He's like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I invited my friends.
When he pulls up to pick me up, he's in a weird-looking van.
Rie is spilling all the tea. Hello, everybody, and welcome to 7:30 Tea with Rie. How are you guys all doing this week? You guys are probably kind of happy right now. If the microphone sounds like really good, it's because I'm not using the little microphone. I'm using my usual classic big microphone. And honestly, I'm really loving it because I kind of missed it. I think I was just kind of, I don't know, like the last two times that I recorded these, I feel like either I was so like on the go mentality, or I was just really, really tired and worn out. Like, I feel like I've been kind of busy, but like now everything's kind of calming down. I feel like I'm finally getting into the routine of things better, because I feel like, I don't know, whenever something new happens in my life, like something new comes along into my routine, it kind of fucks me up for a bit, because I'm like, oh shit, like now I have to readjust my whole schedule and like get used to a new routine. That's like if I get a new job, then I'm like, oh my god, I have to like readjust my routine, like how do I do my daily activities. And then, you know, if even if I make like a new friend, or I start hanging out with one of my friends more, then I'm like, oh my god, I have to like readjust my whole routine. And now, you know, like having a new boyfriend, even, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta like readjust my routine. And then like trying to work out more, I'm like, oh my god, I have to readjust my routine. So it's like every single time I try like adding something new into my schedule, it kind of like fucks me up for a sec, because I'm like, okay, how am I gonna like do this on certain days at certain times and like keep up with it, right? Because that's the toughest part about adding something into your routine, is like actually keeping up with it. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been trying to do, is like making sure that I balance everything really well and keep active, keep healthy. And I've really been loving this healthy lifestyle that I've been like going after, but I haven't been over the top with it. Like, I've been also having moments where I can just like relax and chill and like maybe order in, like get pizza, get Chinese food, whatever the fuck it is, you know? Like, I'm not over the top about it. I'm not strict. I feel like I've been strict on diets in the past. And, you know, in some ways, like, sure, it's okay, you know, like when you're really trying to lose weight, sure. But some people might have the tendency, like I myself have had the tendency to be way too strict, where I'm like, oh, okay, like you shouldn't have this because you don't deserve it because you're not at your goal weight yet. When it's like, no, like it's okay to have things and like have fun and enjoy your life, but still try to get to your goal weight without being super strict, you know? Like, you don't have to be crazy strict about things. You can be healthy and have a healthy lifestyle, but also have fun every now and then and still work out as much as you can, or as much as you would like, you know. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, is just like trying to balance things out and make sure that I'm not being too hard on myself. And oh, by the way, you guys, because I remember the last time I was telling you guys that I was excited to do a grad shoot and all that stuff. So the grad shoot went super well, actually. I was glad with how that went. I was a little nervous because, I don't know, every time I have to do a grad shoot, I'm always in my head of like, I hope this comes out well. Because it'll be a time period where it's like I won't be doing photo shoots for a few months, or like I won't be doing it for a few like weeks or whatever. So sometimes I'm like, do I still have it in me? You know what I mean? But of course I do. Like, I always have the creative vision. But it went super well. The pictures came out really, really nicely. And the lighting was really good to work with. I was a little I keep fucking up my words. I was a little bit worried on some of the pictures, because sometimes you really can't control the outdoor lighting with your editing skills, lighting type of stuff. And I use Adobe Lightroom to edit. And sometimes it is kind of hard to play around with the editing to make sure that it matches the background of the image and also the subject. You know, like matching a person's skin tone to the coloring that you're doing in the background is kind of hard. And also it depends on what clothing they're wearing and things like that, and how the sun's hitting them, where the sun is hitting them, you know? So I just definitely had to play around with it a lot in some parts, but they came out so nicely and she loved the pictures, so I was so glad. And it was so nice going to my old college campus to take those, because I haven't been there in forever and so many things had changed. Like, they even had a carnival going on campus. I was like, what the hell? You guys have rides? Like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, where was this when I was on campus? Because I was like, oh my god. They even got new things. Like, they made a new food center. They made they had these like tablet screens where you could pre-order food while you are in the building. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how things are like just changing and elevating and shit. I'm like, wow, like, I'm really getting older. And I also felt that nostalgia and feeling like I'm getting older too while doing that shoot for the grad, because the girl who had asked me to do these pictures for her, her older sister and I were very good friends when we were younger, and still are good friends. But we had been good friends since like preschool, like for forever. And I've basically known them like my whole life. Her and her older sister, I've known them my whole fucking life. So doing my close friend's little sister's grad shoot, I was like shocked, because I was like, oh my god, the last time I saw you was like when we were like way little, like when we were like way younger, and she would just like play with her Barbies and throw them around and want to tag along with our hangouts. So it was just like, oh my god, I'm like really getting older. Like, I just saw her like, grow up before my eyes. It was just really crazy. But oh my god, I had the mostest fun. And then when I got back from that shoot, I went home and I kind of like relaxed for a little bit, downloaded the photos and all of that, started editing. But then like later on, I got to go to this escape room with my dad, my sister, and then John, right? And so I haven't had a setting like that yet with like John and just like all of us hanging out, right? So I was kind of like, I hope it's not going to be awkward. I didn't think it would be, but you know, you never know. But also, my dad, whenever we invite him to things, and I love inviting him to things because he really usually does make the most of it, but whenever we invite him to things, he'll like play it off like he doesn't care, like, oh, it's no big deal, like, oh, whatever, blah blah blah. But I know he's low-key like happy to be invited to things, so I was hyped for that, and I could tell he was enjoying himself during the escape room. The only thing is he got like a work call during it, so I felt bad because he's always like literally always working, like all the time. Like even when he's not working, he's technically working, like he's in charge of things. So sometimes he'll get calls, but he was able to enjoy it after the call. Like the call wasn't too long, and the escape room was like, I think it was technically supposed to be an hour, but it took us 2 hours to get out. And to be honest with you, I think not to be shady, but this is nothing I wouldn't have said to like my dad and my sister, but like if it was just me and John, I'm pretty sure we would have gotten out of there way faster, because my dad and my sister could not figure out the clues for shit. Like they were so bad at it. Well, I feel like my dad kind of got some things, but honestly I think because he was so tired from work too, probably, or like just maybe he had a long week, I don't know, or like I have no idea. I think he just was like not all there that night, because my dad's usually very, very smart. So I was like, how is my dad like not on this right now? I was shocked. But he was like just bad at it that night. And then my sister, my sister, I know if she's, the fact that it's an escape room, like I feel like an escape room is symbolic of like an actual life problem situation that you're like stuck in, right? And you have to like find your way out of it. Now, in most like problem solving scenarios, people are either like fight or flight, right? Yeah, so my sister's definitely flight. She is not fight. So like this was not for her, like at all. Like she had no clue what she was doing. I was really trying to like show her some things too, or like be like, oh hey, like, you know, when you read this clue you try to like find small things that add up with it. And she would be asking questions, but they were questions that I was like, girl, like this does not pertain to this. But she was really trying. There were some things she was kind of getting where I was like, aw, it's so good. But it was just so fucking funny because both her and my dad were just totally and completely like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then like John and I were like really carrying it. We were like, oh, easy, you just look over here. Like both of us. We just like were a really good team together. I mean, all of us were a good team, but really like, I don't know. I think John and I just have like so much in common in that way, and we think very much the same. So I think that's why we were both really, really good at it. Is because we were just so much alike in that way. So creative and would think of everything and would really take that logical route. Not that they aren't logical, my dad and my sister, but they just sometimes don't think of certain things the way that maybe I might, or the way that maybe someone else might, type of thing. It's just very different. But see, like, that's okay. Sometimes, I mean, not everybody's gonna think the exact same way, but sometimes, you know, you could think completely differently on something, or think of a completely different route to get to the end, but maybe you might still get to the end point. So I just see it as that way. It's like, you know, it's okay to think differently in certain scenarios. Oh my god, it's the way I took all of this from literally an escape room. Whatever, I'm dramatic. But, it's a Spike Tea with Rie episode today, guys. It's the way I like easily, I just transitioned into that so fast. I was like, hey, let's like fuck that last topic. But yeah, no, it's the Spike Tea with Rie episode. So if you are new here and you've been listening so far, you're probably like confused as fuck, like, hey, who are you, like, what is this podcast about, and all that stuff, whatever. So today we are doing Spike Tea with Rie, which basically means that I'm spilling all of the tea on myself while being drunk. So I have my wine glass in my hand, and I'm gonna be drinking my wine the whole time. So if you hear me sipping like this, that means that I'm drinking my wine. And I'm planning on getting drunk during this. And if not drunk, you know, definitely tipsy. I'm not gonna lie, the wine that I chose today, I'm like not really with it because it is a red wine. And I'm kind of not for it. Like, I'm not really a red wine person, but I couldn't find like the good wine in my house. I literally couldn't. I was looking all over the place. I was like, where the hell are my parents hiding the white wine? Like, because I like white wine better. And I could not for the life of me find any white wine. So I was like, okay, fuck it, I guess I'll go with this, right? So it's like, it's not the absolute worst. Like, it's tolerable, but I'm just like, ugh, this is icky to me. It just doesn't have like a sweet taste. It tastes like more dry, and I don't like that. I like a nice sweet wine. So I ain't really with this wine, but we're gonna do it for the episode. But anyways, I can't wait to tell you guys all of these embarrassing stories. I definitely have some really good embarrassing ones for this week. But before we get into those, in case you like really are new here, I'm also going to explain to you what this podcast is about real quick. So this podcast is all about spilling tea and sharing your deepest, darkest secrets. So if you have any tea to spill, DM me on Instagram at 730Tea with Rie, and you spell that 730TEAWITHRIE, or you can DM me on my main Instagram account at Rihanna Flores, and you spell that RIEANNAFLORES. And if you wish to be anonymous, please let me know. Your story should be up to 500 words or less, and if you want to send an audio voice message in instead of typing out your story, just please keep it up to 5 minutes max. Thank you. Oh. Did you guys hear that sound? I just like clinked my glass against my phone and it sounded like really aggressive, and I thought maybe I might have broken the glass. I'm not even fucking drunk yet, and I'm like doing things. Christ. Anyways, let's get into the first story, the first embarrassing story. So this one I'm actually really excited to tell because it was very recent, this embarrassing story. So the other day I got my tampon stuck in me like on accident, like fully on accident. So yeah, this happened actually, you know, the last episode that I recorded for you guys, that same day I was recording that is the same day that happened, and I was fucking livid that morning. So let's start from the beginning. So I woke up on like Friday morning, and you know, it was a good regular ass morning. I was feeling fine. I was feeling relaxed. I was excited to like, you know, just stay in and stay at home for a bit, like before giving a lesson to a little girl that I usually give a lesson to. And I was just gonna chill and watch a movie, you know, like I was not planning on going anywhere for like the next few hours, right? And so I take a nice shower, I take my time in the morning and all of that stuff. And so, like, when I got out my shower, you know, I was just kind of, like, changing and, you know, I was, like, finishing up my period. So, I'm, like, sitting on the toilet and doing my thing, just relaxing, and then I'm trying to, like, put the tampon in. So, I put the tampon in. And if you're a girl, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a guy, try to research this or envision it. I don't know. But, if you're a girl, you get this. So sometimes, you know, when you order like tampons, the string has like other little strings that are attached to it, and sometimes the strings are a little bit longer than the other, like the little tiny ones. So I kind of hate looking at that, and I also hate feeling it all day. So I was like, let me pull the longer string off, right? So I go to try and like pull it off, and I got one off, and then like a little bit more of it started unraveling. So I was kind of like, oh, well, that's annoying, right? Like, who wants to deal with that the whole fucking day? So I tried pulling it more, and then it's like really starting to unravel, and I'm like, oh my god, let me just like pull this whole thing out before it like fully unravels. Yeah, fuck me, right? So I pull this, and the whole string comes off and unravels. Like fully just unravels, and I was scared as fuck because I was like, oh my god, no, don't tell me this tampon is stuck in there all on its own. Surely enough, when I pull, I'm only seeing just the string, the tampon is nowhere to be found, and then I have to, it's gonna get graphic right now, so if you don't want to listen, I'm gonna tell you don't listen. So okay, it's getting graphic. Anyways, so I have to go and look inside of myself, you know, like spread my legs up and look inside. And I'm digging around, and I literally am like, I can't find it. It's like, it's literally nowhere. And so I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck am I gonna do, right? Like, how? I don't even go to a gyno, which is bad. I need to start going to one. And like, they recommended me one when I like, you know, went to go get it fixed, right? And so I call my mom immediately. I'm like, Mom, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I have a tampon stuck in me. Like, the string broke. And she's like, oh, like, just like call your sister Jazz. Because my sister Jazz, she used to work like in like the nursing facility or whatever the hell she did. She was like a nursing assistant or some shit. So she knows her stuff, right? So she told me to go to City MD. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll be on my little merry way to City MD, right? So thank God I had already showered and everything. I was changed, I was dressed. All I had to do was head to City MD. And I was really just like, god damn, this sucks. I was gonna be home alone with my dog. I was gonna really just relax, bro. And my dad is outside in the front yard with the construction workers because they were doing some kind of construction work on the house or whatever they were doing. And so I have to like tell my dad like where I'm going because he's like wondering why the fuck is she leaving the house, you know? And so I'm like, oh, Dad, I'm going somewhere. And he's like, where are you going? And I'm like calling him over secretly. I'm like, hey, Dad, hey, Dad, you know, like, and I call him over and he comes over and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, I gotta go to City MD. And he's like, why? And I'm like, my tampon string broke. And he's like, whoa, okay, go, right? He's like, oh, fuck, you know, like, he's like, you know, you just do your own thing, right? So I get in the car, and I'm like really trying to sit right in the car. I'm trying not to move too much, because I'm thinking to myself in my head, I'm like, oh my god, this piece of cloth is fucking swimming in me, right? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, this is awful. Like, what? So I oh my god, I pull out of my driveway and everything. I'm driving cautiously. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like losing my mind. I had texted my friends before I left the house because I was telling them everything. I was even telling John. I was like, John, oh my god. And John is so like cute and supportive. He was like, it's okay, sweetie. Like, you'll get it out. Blah, 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 blah. You know, like being just a cute man. You know, right? Oh god, I can't. What a good boyfriend. And then my friends were like being so sweet and supportive and trying to like crack jokes so I could calm down. And my friends were saying like, oh well, it happened to me like before too, and like it's okay, like they'll get it out, right? And so I get to City MD and I am talking to these two girls at the front desk, telling them what the fuck happened. They're like, oh my god, girl. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I don't know. Right? And they were like, okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. So like, unfortunately, there's only male staff today, so a male would have to remove it from there. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This couldn't get any worse, right? Only me, bro. Only me. And so I end up having a man, but luckily they said that like a female could be present in the room. So like one of the girls who I told at the desk was able to like be in the room during that. But it was just like, oh my god, the worst. And like before the doctor came in, like the person who they had set me up with to ask me questions before the doctor come in was a man. And so the man, you know, the very first thing that they ask you is usually like, oh, what brings you in here today? And I'm like, oh, you know, like I got a tampon stuck in my fucking vagina. You know, like, it is the worst moment. I'm just like, oh, I hate all of this. Like, why? Right? And so I told that man what had happened. He's asked me questions and he's like, wow, that's cool. Well, that's wild. You know, like that happens and stuff. You know, he's trying to reassure me. He's like, that happens. Good thing it wasn't septic shock. Some girl got septic shock and was here for 6 months. I'm like, you know, that's so great to know, Steve. Like, what the fuck? Like, why would you tell me this shit, right? Whatever, though. And so he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to take your blood pressure now. And I'm just thinking to myself, actually, I said it out loud to him. I was like, well, it's definitely going to be high because I'm like freaking the fuck out. Like, obviously, this shit is not going to be low. But I was okay. And the doctor eventually came in and he was super nice. And the girl came in too and she was present for all that. They also had to put me in some stupid gown. And thankfully, this thing was not deep enough because if it was very deep, they would have had to do a sonogram, like how they do for babies, which that would have been a first, you know, like, of course, that would have been really interesting if they had to do that for me. But no, they just had me wear this surgical gown thing or whatever, and I had to put my legs up and spread them for the doctor to search my vagina. So yeah, the doctor used this big fat tube and stuck it up there, which was really, that was awful, and took this clamp tool and took it out. And so, yeah, the doctor took it out, and I was home free, and the coochie was free. So, yeah, that's the story of how I got a tampon stuck in my cooch. And now she's free, and she's happy, and I do still wear tampons, for the record. You know, like, I'm not gonna stop wearing them, But now I'm gonna be like really careful and maybe like not fuck around with like the little strings. I'm probably just gonna like leave them there and just deal with it, because I don't want it to unravel and for it to fuck me up and for them to have to like take a tampon out of my cooch again. So yeah, just don't play with your tampon strings at all. Just like leave them be. That's my tea. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sip. I'm gonna take a big gulp after that, because I don't know who's listening to this, but that's fucking embarrassing, huh? Oh my god. I think the wine's getting better as I'm getting a little bit more like tipsy-ish. But I'm not even feeling like crazy tipsy. I'm feeling like nice, you know? I feel like nice is a better way to feel. But I'm definitely like loosened up. But I feel like that's also me in general. So I don't know the difference, to be honest. Anyways, whatever. We're going to get into the second story of the day. So this one is called I Hit Reply All on the School's Email. This one was so embarrassing at the time, and it still is. Like, I get secondhand embarrassment thinking back to this. So, freshman year of college, oh my god. So, when I was, like, a brand new freshman or whatever, I remember, like, I wasn't that educated on how email works, honestly. Like, I didn't use email that much. I was always a texter from, like, middle school, high school, and everything. Like, I really did not know how to use email. So I didn't know the difference between reply and reply all. Now, that probably sounds dumb as fuck, but, like, I legitimately had no fucking idea. And so in school, like, I always told myself I wanted to, like, work while being in school, or like do something like that, or just be involved in like extra things. And so they were sending out some email to the whole school about like, oh, would you like to be a babysitter, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so I hit reply all to respond to this fucking babysitter email ad thing. And I literally fully put my whole name and everything. And I was like, hi, my name's Rihanna Flores. I would like to apply for the babysitter position. I'm very interested in it. Blah, 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 blah. Right? It's so fucking embarrassing. So I had hit reply all and then I sent it. And that thing sends to the whole campus, the whole school. And I went to Sacred Heart University, so it went to the whole motherfucking university. Anybody who was on that email saw my name, saw everything, saw every detail, everything. Even, I also, at that school, my sister went there too, and all of her friends went there, and they all knew me. So everybody's texting me like, girl, do you not like know what you just did? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And I realized like, oh my god, everybody got an email from me. Just so fucking embarrassed. Everyone was like, oh, Rihanna, you're interested in the babysitting position, huh? I was like, you can fuck off. You can fuck right off. That was the worstest. Oh my god. I was literally just like, can somebody take my phone away? Because I'm obviously like an imbecile. Like, I'm obviously stupid. Like, I was so fucking embarrassed. But yeah, now I know the difference between reply and reply all. And do I email people often? No, I don't. I really don't. I just subscribe to things and get emails, but I don't email that often. I'm really more of a texter. Not because of that, but I've always been that way. I don't mind composing emails. Now I'm a fucking email genius, okay? I'm an email genius, but I don't email that much in general unless I am applying to a job or I'm at a fucking workplace. That's about it. I'm gonna take a sip. Ugh. Oh my god, this red wine. Ugh. Why is it like good but bad? It's like, it's more bad than good, definitely. But like, it's getting decent, I think, because I'm getting like a little more, you know? I'm more of a lightweight, if you couldn't tell, because this is one glass, but I just am like, ugh, it's giving me the ick, but also I'm like, woo, so loose. Anyways, we're gonna get into the last and final story of the day. So this one, honestly, thinking of this one fucking scares me because it has to do with a spider. So this one's called I Made a Random Boy Kill a Spider in My Dorm Room. Yeah, so this one was actually absolutely fucking awful to experience. I hate spiders. If any of you know me, you know that I hate spiders. You know that I have like an intense fear of them. They absolutely suck, and I will happily just like kill myself on the spot or evacuate the country, and probably next I would evacuate the planet. I literally hate spiders. Yeah. So if you didn't get it, I definitely hate spiders. I have arachnophobia to a T, like bad. So anyways, after explaining all that, I'm sure you get it. I was living in this like off-campus dorm thing or whatever with my roommate, and we woke up early one morning, you know, for class. Like, it was a regular ass morning, but it was like 7 a.m. So it was like fucking early, and not everyone's up at that time unless you have class. And so she was heading to class, like she was gonna be late, and I wake up, and when I wake up, I'm like facing my wall, right? And when I open my eyes, I am face to face with this thick, huge, oh my god, it was fucking big, and like not big like the size of my hand, but like at least around the size of like my palm, or like the center of my palm, like a little bit in the middle of my palm. It was big. It was a big, thick, big back, fat, white spider. Could you fucking imagine? And it was spotted. It was spotted with black dots. And I, you know, when like people just like scream, right? I didn't even have time to scream. I just processed like, this is not for me. And so I flew off the bed. I think I rolled backwards. I didn't even process. I didn't even scream. I just was like, like breathing fucking like heavily, right? And so I'm like watching it crawl. I'm screaming while watching it crawl, and I'm fucking just dying. And I was like trying to get my roommate, because she was like finishing up getting ready. I was like, please, can you kill this, please? I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm freaking the fuck out, because I'm obviously not going in my fucking bed now, right? Like, obviously not. And so she didn't want to kill it either, because she's fucking scared of spiders too. So I was like, what am I gonna do, right? So, mind you, by the way, I just woke up. I don't even want to go back into my bedroom because this thing is in my presence, right? So what the fuck am I gonna do? So I am wearing a fucking t-shirt, no bra, short shorts. Did I care? No, I didn't care. The only thing I cared about was the fucking spider that's thick and big backed in my fucking room. By the way, if you just heard random jingling, that's my dog in the background, just so you know. Anyways, yeah, no, all I gave a fuck about was this spider. I literally was like, this has to leave my room. I don't even want to like forget about it. It needs to be dead. Okay, it needs to be dead. If it's out of my sight, I'm gonna freak the fuck out, because it's gonna show back up, right? I need to see it dead. And so I run out into the hallway, because this like dorm thing off campus, like, you know, it's one of those things where you walk out of your room, there's like a hallway, and it's with all students or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, a guy would definitely kill this, probably not a girl, right? Because guys usually really don't give a fuck about that stuff. So I look out into the hallway, I'm looking around. Luckily, some boy was awake at 7 a.m. and he was walking back to his room, and I run up to him in my shorts, no bra, nothing, just my t-shirt and my shorts, my short shorts, and my little socks and my fuzzy slippers, whatever the fuck I was wearing, right? I run up to him and I'm like, hi, I don't mean to bother you or anything, but like, do you mind killing the spider for me before I die? Like, I literally said exactly that. I'm not even kidding you. And you know what? I'm not even that embarrassed about it, because I don't give a fuck. Like, kill the spider. Like, please do it. Right? And so he's like laughing, and I'm like, no, like, I'm like really serious. And he's like, oh yeah, like no problem, right? And so he gets like a shoe or whatever, and he comes over to my room. He marches over, he sees it, and he like hits it and kills it, right? And so he takes a paper towel And then he's taking the paper towel holding this dead spider and he's like, oh, here. And I'm like, no, take it far, take it all the way to your bathroom. He's laughing and chuckling while walking away with it, but I was just so glad that he removed it because I was like freaking the fuck out. I was like, are you kidding? How did this thing even get into my room and in my presence? Like, what did I do for that? Literally. But yeah, he is a saint. I don't even know his name, but whatever the fuck your name was, if you were ever listening to this and you remember that, bestie, you are so bestie for that, even though we didn't even end up friends. Like, thank you for killing that spider, because that spider was like, that is my worst nightmare. This is the craziest, like, ickiest shit that I've ever seen. I had never been more scared in my life. Like, to be so scared that you don't even scream, you are just like, I am out. It's just crazy. And in fight or flight, like, I'm usually fight, but when it's fucking spiders, bitch, I am so flight. I'm so fucking flight. I don't even deal with it. I'm like, I'm fucking out. I'm out. You'll never catch me, you know? But yeah, anyways. That is it. That's all of the stories for today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed all of my stories. All of them are crazy and embarrassing, but anyways, we're gonna be closing out this episode with our sound healing meditation. So now we're gonna clear up all of the energy that we just let out in this healing, in this in this session. So we're just gonna sit back, lie down, relax, shut your eyes, take a deep breath in from your nose, and out from your mouth, and I'm gonna play. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for joining today's episode. It always means so much to me. And if you are new here and you made it this far, that means the absolute most to me as well. Thank you so much for being here and listening the whole entire time. And if you haven't yet, hit that freaking follow or subscribe button and everything. And check out all of my socials. I should have it probably in one of my descriptions. So check out all of those socials. Follow me on everything and keep up to date with my stuff. Leave likes and comments and all that stuff. And if you've been here the whole time and you haven't done that, what the fuck are you doing? Go do that right now. But anyways, like I said, thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it a lot. And yeah, I love you guys all so much. I hope you guys have the bestest week ever. Goodbye!